get into airplane mode. That's important. Because I don't want the phone. The phone would be ringing.
Ringing, yes. So the higher mindfulness practice, we are discovering the subjective states, and that will take us deeper into, I will also do the aeroplane mode, and that is very important. My student says that, how come, we don't even hear you. So higher mindfulness meditation.
I'm ready when you are.
Yes, higher mindfulness meditation, and we are going little deeper. But one thing is sure, the higher the practice, the simpler it is, and we extend our awareness to the areas yet unknown to the mind. We have been doing the breath awareness, being comfortable, being carefree and being casual, counting the breath, and living in that state of the mindfulness. It is good in the beginning, but as we progress, we have to see the subjective side. The mind has been too much of attention on the objective side. How the mind or the higher consciousness works as we progress into meditation. Today we are extending the state there. Be comfortable. What we are doing, being comfortable, the mind goes to the neck joint, you feel the sensation, become aware. But the subjective state behind has to do with sensation, stillness, and sometime even being comfortable, the mind drops into calmness. The mind goes to the shoulder joints, being aware of it. You feel the sensation. You feel the sensation is there, it's okay. Now we pick up. Only is there a sensation in the shoulder joints? Yes. Stillness is there? Yes. And awareness is there. Being comfortable. The masters know that when there is a stillness, and there is a conscious awareness of stillness, prevents the mind to wander outside. It prevents objectification. And when there is a calmness, we are able to move into that awareness that separates the thoughts, feelings, anxiety from something inside. Then there is a state of quietness. Quietness, we see, these thoughts or anxiety is very far from us. And from the quietness we move into the state of peace. Then comes the silence. And after silence comes the awakening. It can jump directly into the awakening. Nobody knows. Move the mind on the elbow joints. You feel sensation is there, and stillness is there. So this elbow joints is only a reference point for the subjective experience of sensation, stillness, calmness, even the quietness. Move the mind on the wrist joint. This mind, because of its outward moving tendency, it is always objectifying everything. Our pain, pleasure, and anxious moment. And the objectification of the pain hides our real nature. Reference point, wrist joint, feeling the sensation, just be there. There is a thought, okay. There is a thought but you feel separate from it. When you feel separate from it, okay, that is the state of the calmness. You feel very far, a sense of quietness, even that can come here. Well, the thought comes, you are carried away by it, forgetfulness comes of the mind. You start chasing the thought, the wandering state returns. You become almost a kind of both forget or memory. There is another memory, or even the sleep. We move the mind on the hip joints. Move the mind on the hip joints. Feel the sensation. Feel the sensation. And we simply reverse the step. We are looking who is feeling this sensation. Who is feeling this sensation, and we experience the sense of stillness, calmness, and sometimes we feel the sense of quietness. The mind is not used to that state of the quietness, so it experiences and it drops into unconscious sleep. Move the mind on the knee joints. Be there, sensation. Feel the sensation. And in the background, experience the stillness. Experience the stillness. And it is good. Today we hear the noises coming from outside, but it gives in that mind is still there inside. And ankle joints, you feel the sensation. You feel the sensation. Okay, we have been doing that, but we stay there and we experience the state of calmness. And sometime there is a sense of quietness. It comes for a fraction of a second, and the mind is habituated to fall into unconsciousness. The entire body, from the top of the head to the toes. Top of the head to the toes. We are looking at the body, feeling the sensation. We experience the stillness that has been common to previous practices, but now we are there. We remain in that state of sensation in the stillness. We look inside. But how do we know? Consciously know. Thought is there, it comes, you become aware, it is gone. Second thought comes, you know it, it is gone, you are in the state of calmness. Thought comes, your mind is carried away by it. Either it is forgetfulness, and then comes the wandering state. And behind there is a state of the calmness that is permanently there. Even in the moments of anxiety, thinking, they both are parallel. And occasionally we can experience the state of quietness. And now being aware, being carefree. So carefree is directly related to the state of the calmness. Thoughts are coming from outside, but let them come and go. It is easy to bypass the noises coming from outside. It is challenging as we think thoughts that are moving inside. But rather it is the easier inside. Look at one scenario to practice. The moment any thought comes, become aware of the sensation and the stillness in the body. That will take you to the state of the calmness. That is conscious awareness that chooses. Again the feeling, sensation comes. For example, you feel the sensation in the right arm. Okay, continue to feel it. You experience the stillness. Continue to feel it. Continue to feel it. Sensation and the stillness. And when you are settled, you experience the state of calmness. Carefree, free from all the cares of the nature of the mind that objectifies. Anything that comes to the mind, let that be an opportunity to become aware of the sensation in the body, the stillness and calmness. You're carefree, free from anything that is coming into the mind at this time. Thought comes, okay. Memory comes, okay. But yes, sleep in the forgetfulness. The mind loses that conscious awareness. And especially in that state of forgetfulness, our sense of unconsciousness, the anxiety returns. It objectifies. We forget the inner stillness and the calmness. We are carried by it, and then we say we don't succeed. The mind is still seeking what to do. Nothing. Only do something when any thought comes to the mind. The moment the thought comes, your mind naturally moves to the state of the sensation and the stillness. It looks behind the state of calmness, and you're there. You are there being carefree completely. And now you are casual. Being casual can lead us to the state of calmness directly. Being casual means our mind not desiring, asking, craving, clinging, attaching, sleeping, forgetting. When the mind does none of these things, it is still aware. It drops into being casual. It drops into being casual. You are being carefree. In that being carefree, there is a conscious experience of the sensation, stillness, and occasional calmness. One thought comes and it leaves us. We experience that there is a gap. There is a separation. The other thought comes, we cling to it. Third thought comes up, the mind is wandering. The fourth comes up, forgetfulness. So every thought is associated with the past, the memory, the clinging, desiring, asking, and that is why this happens. Being comfortable, carefree, and casual. Now the time has come. You need not to pick up all the steps. Pick up the one step. Being comfortable, being carefree, and being casual. You're lying down as if you are starting the practice from now. You lie down, The mind picks up the sensation in the hip joint. Okay, you're there. Mind becomes aware of the sensation and the stillness. Thought comes, you bring the mind back to the sensation and the stillness. Feeling goes to the right leg. Okay, sensation and the stillness is there. And then what happens? The sensation increases. You are progressing. You got it. The moment the sensation increases and the stillness takes over, you may experience the moment of calmness as it separates the thought. Being carefree, and you become carefree. And then the mind is not desiring anything. It does not have any intent deeper inside what to do, what is next. How to do, what to do, why to do. It is simply there. It is simply there. When it is simply there, what is that element that takes you away, separates you from the wandering, forgetfulness, memory, and consciousness? All these causes the sense of anxiety. We need not to fight with it. We need not to control it. We need not to objectify it. Conscious experience of the sensation as such. Stillness is there. Continue to be there in that state and experience the sensation increases. You may feel numbness intensifies. Result is calmness. You have started moving within. Mindfulness state is there. Natural state where we are aware of the space outside, sensation, stillness inside the body, the space is there, the sensation is there, calmness and quietness is there. We remain there. It is simultaneous. We are all aware of all the layers of the existence. You can do this first step, or maybe the last step if you're doing only this one. We can directly move to be aware of the breath. Now become aware of the breath. Look at the breath. The breath is going in and coming out. Breath is going in and coming out. You feel the sensation of the breath, and you do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Breath goes in and out. It is a sensation. And when we are aware of the sensation of the breath, when we are aware of the sensation of the breath, the mind normally drops into feeling of sensation. It also experiences the state of the stillness in the body. And there is a sense of calmness when there is no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. We can remain calm even when there is continuous movement of the breath that is going in and out. Looking at the subjective states, the breath going in and out, feeling the sensation of the breath, and no change. But in the background, we experience the state of sensation and the stillness. We experience the state of sensation and stillness. We also experience a sense of emptiness, where the breath goes in and comes out. Breath goes in, 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 comes out. That is only a reference point. You're going deeper. You're sitting in a car and you're driving it on a highway. It is on a cruise control. The car is moving, but you continue to sit in the car. You continue to remain aware of the breath. And the time comes you are deep down. You are at your home. You are into the state of the calmness and quietness. Exploring the higher and the deeper consciousness. To move into the deeper, higher states of mindfulness. When you have a cruise running in a car on the highway, the mind says, no, I'm not doing anything. Same thing. The breath is going in and out. You're not doing anything. But something happens deeper inside. It is already there. We are able to perceive the calmness that separates any movement, every moment. The wandering, the memory, the unconsciousness, the hesitation, the pain, the suffering. It separates everything. We see them at a distance. You're aware of the breath going in, and the moment it comes out, the mind goes somewhere. You recall, become aware of the sensation and the stillness. Don't try to control. And when that happens, the mind drops deep down. You are aware of the breath in that state of the sensation and the stillness. The mind on the surface is aware of the breath, the cruise, and it is also aware of the inner state of the calmness that continuously, naturally separates every moment of the mind, the sensation, the stillness, thought, feeling, memory, and if that happens, we are there. When we directly move to the breath awareness, yes, we can move. Logically, we say that yes, let us settle down for a couple of minutes. It is the conditioned mind, and we need it in the beginning. So the second step is again the independent. You're anywhere. You sit comfortably, you start looking at the breath on one hand, and every breath awareness should also awaken to the state within. The state within. It separates the movement of the breath on the surface from the inner state of calmness. Awakening, knowing the state of stillness which is natural now. The state of inner calmness where on the surface we are aware of the breath going in and out, no change, feeling the sensation. Let the mind return to the sensation, the stillness. We may consciously experience the sensation becomes deeper. We also experience the stillness as if is deep now, and in that state the inner calmness returns. Naturally we awaken to that state in spite of the breath that is going in and out. What is that? A state of calmness. Once again we do nothing, and the state of the mindfulness, the space outside, naturally we are aware of it, the sensation in the body, the stillness. Mind naturally moves deeper, the state of calmness, as some sensation that we experience inside. Why we say in this practice, we feel the sensation inside and also the sensation outside. The conscious awareness separates the two. That is a glimpse of the state of the calmness and the space within, the state of quietness. Accept all the changes and the subjective experiences that returns to you. The sensation may turn out to be numbness, tingling, freezing, sinking into the floor, rising up, vision, colors, geometrical designs, refers to the mandalas. Anything can come. That depends on how deeper the mind goes at that moment. And now the third step, or the same independent step. Become aware of the entire body. How do we become aware? The subjective experience of the sensation, the shape, and the stillness. Look at the entire body from the top of the head to the toes. Become aware of who is looking at the body and the sensation and the stillness in the body. That takes your mind to dive deeper within. You're aware of the both, the who is looking at the body and the experience of sensation and the stillness in the body. In those moments, become aware of the breath, going in and out. The moment the breath goes in, count in 1. Breath comes out, out 1. In 2, out 2, in 3. Go on counting the breath. The counting again helps the mind to remain on the breath, but at the same time we dive deeper into the higher consciousness. You are on the cruise and constantly looking the fixed speed of the car. When it changes, yes, the miles changes deeper inside. The speed is the same. Same thing happens. You're counting the breath and you're aware of the space inside. The mind begins dropping into the state of the calmness, quietness. Sensation and the stillness are maintained. What a beautiful state, a joyful state. Thought comes. We see the thought on the surface, even about the counting of the breath that continues. We not only experience the state of the calmness and also the quietness. Quietness means that whatever the mind is doing, we experience, it is very far from us. The memory is far from us, the sleep, the wandering, the sensation in the stillness, they all are very far from us. Noise is coming from outside, and the mind knows it is very far. Then the sensation and the stillness in the body, not very far, but still far. You're aware of the breath, counting the breath 1 to 25. If you complete, return again 1 to 25, and you are there. You are aware of the breath, counting the breath 1 to 25 and 1 to 25. Now we are awakening more at the subjective level. Cruise, running at a fixed speed, but behind it we are already aware that we are covering the miles, we are covering the distance. The same thing happens here. You are aware of the breath and counting the breath. The mind awakens that it is going deeper, deeper, deeper. The sense of calmness and the quietness prevails. Outside, in the state of the sensation and the stillness. aware of the breath counting. And when we forget the counting, it means how the forgetfulness, the wandering state of the mind has taken over. Instantly, no regret, no rejection. We start looking at the breath, moving in and out, feeling the sensation, no change, and we count. But then at the same time, we awaken to the sensation and the stillness. It is there. And a sense of calmness. Returning again to the sensation and the stillness. Mind sometimes gets obsessed. It says, no, this is the sensation, relates to anxiety, or the duality, or the pain. And we become aware. We return to the breath again. We start counting the breath. The mind says, no. How do we recognize those? Because of the sensation outside and some thought inside. They both combine. We lose that awareness of the calmness and quietness that is already present. It wails. You are aware of the objective and the subjective side. We awaken to the subjective states of sensation, stillness, calmness, quietness, peace, silence, and awakening. The mind can jump directly into the awakening state. It can jump to the quietness state. There are the times when the mind drops everything, whatever is coming. It says, this is enough. I'm not listening to it. It is not that the mind is doing, the calmness takes over. The quietness takes over. Even when the counting continues, sensation changes. Stillness continues. The stillness and the sensation intensifies. You may experience as if you are sinking into the floor, rising up, expanding. Doing nothing, awareness of that state of mindfulness. You are just there in that state and doing nothing. Become aware of what prompts you to return. If nothing prompts you to return, remain in that state. And if something prompts, something wants you to return, it is either the wandering state, the memory, the forgetfulness state that returns to the conditioned state of the mind, the wrong perception. We're not returning, I'm still chanting. That doesn't mean that you need to return, just continue to watch. When I chant, is the mind habituated? It wants to return? No. You become aware fully and Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Only when the mind is fully ready, consciously, when it is ready, consciously, and you return consciously, you are able to maintain that state. Another vital principle. And when you are conscious, you want to return. The body moves, the hands goes onto the eyes, but that inner subjective state continues. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. You're fully aware, and separate both your palms and your eyes. Open the eyes and sight. Know your experiences and bring the hands down.